for the news. Brings the stories of Big Rapids and Mecosta County to you. Every Tuesday morning, you know just where to go. Tune in to B1039, he's got the scoop, don't you know? Welcome to Curries Corner. With Pete and by his side, they'll keep you informed and entertained. Taking you on a ride from the latest happenings to the heart of the community. Come on over to Big Rapids and see what's on TV. Oh, wait, now you tell me it's not TV. Well, that's okay, just listen with me. We're on the radio, so now let's go. Time for Curries Corner on your radio, yeah. Tune in and turn it up, let's have some fun.
I think Pat's really engrossed in the song.
Pretty good,
there.
yeah, I like that. Who sang that, Bob? You?
Yeah, I did.
You wrote it, right?
B109 Symphony Orchestra and chorus. Chorus soon to be added.
Somebody did a nice job.
Yeah.
There. I like it. Like the music, yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, I tell you what. Good morning, Bob. How are you?
All right. How's everything?
I loved it coming into the radio station this morning when you said, well, I'm just going to sit back for the next couple of hours and let it go.
That's what I'm going to do.
I love teasing you, Bob. Hey, it's a great world out there, and things are going pretty good. I think Lenten season, a lot of people are sacrificing a lot, and we're going to talk a little bit about that later on, but I just want to touch base with a few people out there. Shane Prince turned 51. Jared Counselor's benefit for him at the Elks Club. Too many people that were in there supporting him.
Yep.
So I won't name any names, except the Elks Club is really moving along. My dad up in heaven, it's down looking here smiling. Josh Ealing's exalted ruler right now. He's just doing a great job. He's got a great staff, and Saturday night was resilient. I mean, these people are just unbelievable, this community. I'm just so proud to be a part of it. And if you weren't there, you just visualize a place being packed with people smiling, wanting to donate to a good cause, which Jared is battling cancer right now, but he's a wonderful, wonderful person. Him and his brother, they're Casey and Aaron, just great people. But anyway, then we had a 50th, yeah.
Well, I got to ask you a question about that. Did Doug buy back the wheelbarrow?
No, Doug didn't.
Really?
Well, my hero, Doug Brandt, one of my heroes anyway. I have a lot of them in Big Rapids. But Doug Brandt from Zott's Bar and Grill got the idea of taking a wheelbarrow full of booze. And he himself put like $500 worth in it for a couple of weeks at Grunts Brothers. It sat there in the doorway so people could buy a bottle and throw it in there. I dare say there's a couple grand there, and Doug was saying that, I'm going to go to $2,000. Well, I will say how much it went for. Mm-hmm. Doug went to $4,500 on it, and then John Sontag jumped it up to $6,000.
Wow.
The old former sheriff bought for $6,000, but. In times like that, money, it's only money. It's only money. Life is so precious. And he just wanted to give back. And Sontag, God bless you, And I always say the underbidder, you got to remember them too in any auction. And Doug Rant was the underbidder. And Doug gives so much to this community. I mean, I won't mention how many times, but he's one of those heroes out there that's giving back to us. So thank you, Doug.
Very nice.
Thank you, John. Yep. The rest of the crew there. I got a couple Owen stories. We'll get to them later. We'll do that in the middle. But right now, we got a little half hour here. We got a two-part story show here. The first one is St. Mary's School. We got some representations here from some teachers here, and the secretary I see, Dushan, and Mrs. Sells, yeah. And St. Mary's is a fourth-generation school to the Currie kids. My dad went there, and I went there, and my sons and daughter went there, and now my grandchildren are going there. So if anybody knows what St. Mary's is all about, I am the guy to talk to. I always say I learned how to respect people, and I was very well disciplined back in the day with the nuns that we had back then. And I know a lot of guys out there listening right now that went to a parochial school know exactly what I mean. But, today maybe we need a little bit more of that coming back to us. But they're doing a great job over there, and I'm going to let Mrs. Sells talk about it a little bit. I know she's very passionate about it. She's the kindergarten teacher or first grade? Kindergarten teacher. Yeah, and we got a couple of young guests here with us, too, and we'll let them introduce themselves here in a little bit and ask them why they're going to that school. I want to start with you, Mrs. Sells. You just tell us what's going on over there.
Well, we really wanted to come out today to talk to you about our upcoming open house. It's going to be next week on Wednesday from 5 to 7 in the evening, and we just really wanted to invite the community to come on into the school and meet us and talk to us, check out our programs. We're going to have, it's like a two-part event, so early childhood information night is that night, and also just a true open house where parents can come in, current families can come in and visit next year's teacher, and new families can come in and tour the school, explore the classrooms, and meet the teachers.
Yeah, years ago, Ben Brandt was looking for a school for his kids, and I'm going to bring up Ben and Cheryl because they're another couple they're called my heroes. They've done a great job investing into St. Mary's for their 4 children, 4 of the nicest young men Big Rapids has to offer. The oldest one, Noah, he's out of school now, out of high school, and then they have 2 in the high school, I think, and 2 at St. Mary's, or 1 at St. Mary's, yeah. One, yeah, baby. Baby looks like a junior in high school. What a big kid he is. They grow him big over at St. Mary's. But anyway, Ben was looking for a school, and I told him I should go over and look at St. Mary's, and of course they weren't Catholic, and he was concerned about that. And I said, you know what? I said, they're going to teach your kid religion, but more importantly, they're going to get that one-on-one attention and education. So he found that out, and Ben is a great contributor to the St. Mary's School. He heads up to fish fry every year, and he's glad to do it. And this year he's doing a great job again. But and then the Mossels, they the same thing. They came in the community, and I was one of the first people. I've known those families for quite a few years. And they were moving out of Byron Center up here looking for a school. And I said, well, look at all 4. Look at St. Mary's, look at St. Peter's, and look at the Public, and look at Crossroads. They're all fine schools. And they also picked St. Mary's. And they're not Catholic. But they just love it, too. And now their kids are going through, I think they have 1 left there, too, is all, don't they? 2 kids there, yeah. But they're loving it. So it's not just for Catholics, is it?
Right. I think you bring up a great point. I mean, even my own family, we moved here in 2018, and we weren't Catholic at the time yet. And through a lot of Bill's coworkers, they kept encouraging us, check out St. Mary's, tour St. Mary's. And Bill went on one tour and fell in love with what he saw and brought me back, and we went on another tour. They invited us to visit for a day. We could see what prayer service looked like, see what Mass looked like. So, and we started at the school, and I think we were there 2 years, and then we actually joined the church. So it's been a beautiful experience for our family as well.
Yeah, it's all boils down to one human, and that was Jesus Christ that came down and saved us all. You know what a tribute to St. Mary's that is. But anyway, I see you got a little brochure here, and tour the school, meet the teachers, explore the classrooms, preschool, full-time, part-time options for 3 and 4-year-olds. You have that. Kindergarten. New families get 50% off kindergarten tuition. That's nice.
Yeah, our board really, I'm excited to announce that if you are a new family that you want to enter into kindergarten at St. Mary, it's 50% off for the 24-25 school year. That's a great chance to check us out. And also, I know there's another full scholarship for kindergarten being offered by Schuberg Insurance. So I know there's an application process for that. So go on their Facebook or website, and you can apply for a full scholarship for kindergarten as well.
That's very nice, and we should talk about that. Tyler Schuberg, he's donated a lot of his time into coaching those kids over there, and he went to that school. I could add that too, and so he's very appreciative of what's education that he got there, and now he is giving, once again, folks, Tyler Schuberg, you put your name in there. You don't have to be Catholic, do you?
No, it's open to anyone. Just new families. He did specify new families, so not current families.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I should add his wife, lovely wife, Marcy. She's very much involved with the school too, but it's very nice that Schuberg Insurance right downtown Big Rapids is offering this tuition incentive. So thank you, Tyler and Marcy. And then I see you got scholarships and tuition assistance are available.
Even for K through 8, there's also just a new family discount. So definitely don't let cost keep you away. Come on in, check us out, talk to us, because there is lots of opportunities, ways that you can help at the school to reduce tuition. So lots and lots of options. Mrs. Duchamp, did you want to add anything?
No, you're absolutely correct. Cost should not be a reason as to why we are not sending kids to St. Mary's. And we can absolutely, and we have, and we continue to do year after year, help out with families and what they need, because at the end of the day, our goal is to provide good Catholic education to anyone who desires it.
Well, before you're working as a secretary there
I am.
now, eh? Before that, though, you were, I might just call it just a regular old parent sending
Just
your
a
kids
regular
there.
old parent.
What was the decision maker on that, you sending your kids there?
Well, I knew from the moment I had children that I wanted to send them to the Catholic school, because me, myself, I went to Catholic school all the way to sophomore year in high school. And then I switched to the public school. And personally, for me, it was quite the eye-opener. And I just knew, and I was very thankful that I had that, the beginnings that I did. So, and I knew I want the same thing for my children. And I knew, like, Kelly Dubowski and a few of the other families, and they spoke very highly of St. Mary's. So it was really, truly an easy decision.
Now, where did you go to school then? What state? Were you
In New
Michigan?
York, Most
New
Precious
York.
Blood in New York City.
Oh, wow.
And then
Right in
St.
the
John's
city.
Preparatory also in New York City.
Wow, yeah. Well, I know everybody that goes through there. I mean, you're not going to keep everybody happy, but I don't see any disgruntled people there. But I tell you what, we got to talk about the guy that really makes it happen over there at the church, Bob. I don't know if you ever met Father Jagger.
I have not.
You know, I'm 70 years old, and for me to call somebody father that's not even hit 40 yet, it's kind of weird, but it's a respectful word. That Father Jagger to me is probably the ultimate priest that we've ever had there. He's a truly a human being that has been gifted the highest gift God could give any man, and that is to be a priest. And last Sunday, his sermon was so good. I mean, every Sunday it seems like, Mary Beth Beamer, for instance, said, it seemed like he was talking to me. Well, you're not the only one that feels that way. He does that to everybody, and his sermons are so inspiring. And I love the one, was it last Sunday or the Sunday before? It has nothing to do with the school, but it has something to do with the school because he's our leader. And he was saying how important the gift of marriage is and what he has given up to be a priest, and that God called on him.
That
to
was
do
his
that.
sacrifice.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's really down to earth. Don't you think he's just
Very
wonderful?
inspiring. I
Yeah.
invite everyone to come to one of our masses because, I mean, you will love Father Jagger.
I know I was talking to Mary Beth, like I said, Beamer there at Jared's fundraiser, and Mary Wilmer was there, and Mary said, well, I'm not Catholic, so I can't go. I said, yes, you can. You don't have to be Catholic.
Absolutely.
But I said, I'm telling you, if you just drop in and listen to his sermon, oh, my Lord, it's good.
Yeah,
I mean,
best hour of your week.
been there my whole life, and I just have never, ever sat there with a guy more inspiring and gifted than him.
And I invite people to check out our children's mass too, because I love what he does on Tuesday mornings at 9:00. You can come on in and attend one of the school masses, and he really brings it down to their level, and he meets them where they are, makes it relevant for the children. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, who do I have here? What's your name, little one? Addie? Addie?
Yeah.
Okay, Addie. What grade are you in?
Kindergarten.
Kindergarten. What made you want to go to St. Mary's? Did you look at all the schools first? Did your mommy take you to all the schools?
My mom just decided.
She decided. So you listened to your mother.
Yeah.
Why do you listen to your mother?
Because she's my mother.
That's a good reason. Yep. How about your daddy? Do you listen to him too?
Yeah.
What's the greatest gift, your mommy or your daddy?
My mommy.
Your mommy. Boy, you are a sweetheart. You look at the big smile on her face. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. But your daddy's important too, huh?
Yeah.
What do you like most about your dad?
That he carries me upside down and makes Titus come and lick me on the face.
Oh, really? That makes...
Yeah.
What do you like most about your mommy?
That she kisses me before she leaves for work.
Well, that's awful important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you say your prayers at night?
Not really.
Not really? Well, I appreciate your
I
honesty.
forget them.
Huh?
I forget to say my prayer that
You know
night.
what the most important part in
What?
life is?
What?
Honesty. And you're being honest. But when you do say your prayers, what do you thank God for?
For making the earth.
Making the earth. Good for you. Who do we have over here next to you? What's your name, little one?
Juliana.
Pardon? You're talking to an old man, so get up to the mic there.
Juliana.
Juliana?
Juliana.
Juliana. What grade are you in, Juliana?
Kindergarten.
You're in kindergarten too?
Mm-hmm.
How come you go to St. Mary's?
Because I moved into I moved into Michigan, and I used to go to a different school in Michigan, and now I go to St. Mary's.
How do you like St. Mary's? What's the best part of St. Mary's?
I like how the teachers keep the kids safe.
Okay. Who's your teacher?
Mrs. Sarah.
Is she a good one, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Have you learned a lot from her? What's the first thing you remember learning from her?
The first thing learning was that
Pardon? Go ahead.
she cared about me.
That's right. That's a good one, isn't it? How about your mommy and daddy? They care about you?
Yes.
They love you, don't they? What's the best part about your daddy?
The best part of my daddy is because he takes care of me and gives me kisses when I go to bed.
What would you say to God if you saw him right now?
I would say thank you for making us and the whole entire universe.
Oh, wow, that's good. Yeah. What do you think everybody loves everybody? Do you? Yeah. It's a wonderful world, isn't it? Everybody loves, and all your friends at school are good to you? Who's your best friend?
Addie and Emma and Claire.
Do you know Owen? Owen Currie? Do you? What grade's Owen in?
First grade.
Yep, he is. Is he a nice boy? Is he? Okay. He plays with you on the playground?
Nobody.
No, just you girls stick together, don't you? Do you miss the snow?
Yep.
You do, yeah. Bob, you got any questions for these little girls?
I don't. I think you're carrying it very well here.
Well, I'm
nice.
just saying. So getting back to you, Addie.
Addie.
Yeah, you have a beautiful smile. Where do you get that from?
My mom.
Do you?
Yeah.
Does your dad have a very nice smile?
Not much.
Not much. Does he work a lot? Does he? What's your favorite meal? Where do you like to go out to eat?
That's
Zots? Oh, that's good. How about you, little one? Jillian? Where do you like to go out to eat?
Blue
What's your-
cow.
Blue Cow? You got some class.
Wow, look at that.
Well, we got two different people here. Well, Zots is class too, though.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Class by itself,
So both of these are your students. How many kids do you have in kindergarten, Mrs.
This year we have 11. 11 kindergartners, yeah. And 14 preschoolers.
14 preschoolers, eh? And then I see, who does the 3 and 4-year-olds? Is that
Michaela
preschool?
Wood and Sherry Hughes are our preschool. Michaela is the lead and Sherry is the aide.
Okay, all right. Well, what else? What else you want to talk about St. Mary's?
Another opportunity that the community has that they could come out and just visit St. Mary is we've started a Partners in Play program for 3-year-olds through 6-year-olds. It's Tuesday. It's going to be this month. It's March 12th. And it's after school from 3:30 to 4:30. And Michaela Wood and Sherry Hughes and I, we go over to the Parish Center and we set up all kinds of different activities for the community to come on in and play with their children. So hands-on, lots of gross motor opportunities, and then usually at the end of the hour we'll wrap up with a circle, like a singing, and thank everyone for coming. But yeah, it's a great chance to just come out. It's totally free. Just meet the teachers, hang out, ask us some questions. So if you can't make it on the 13th, definitely come on the 12th or check out on our Facebook page or on our website. You can come. We have it the next 2 months as well, all the way through May.
I know it's a great educational institution, but the other thing they're making a lot of good athletes coming out of there, aren't they?
That's true.
They, I look at the Bowman boys, Max and his cousin there. I can't think of his first, Jack, and those two are dominating out there at the high school. I wouldn't be surprised they'd further into that when the college days come. But Tyler Schuberg's done a great job with the basketball program over there. As Tom Tacey has, and Matt and Adam and Brian Miller, and I can go on Kurt Dabowski. You know, one thing about that, parents are really involved with their kids over there, aren't they? They're almost like one-on-one. If a parent wants to help out, there's something over there all the time that they can do to involve themselves with the kids. But I know athletic-wise, the basketball teams are always very competitive. They have that nice gym there that the Horns were very instrumental on putting up. Dolores, I got to keep bringing Dolores. Do you know, you ever met Dolores Horn?
No, but I saw your post. Thank you.
I love her. I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, if you ever get a chance, there's a legend. Dolores and Bob, if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be in that. And I tell you, I was on the ground floor with them, but I was on the ground floor. They were up in the auditorium. But they just, if you ever get a chance to meet her, thank her. Because I'm telling you what, she's very, very, very proud lady, and so should be.
Wonderful.
But she's homebound right now, and you know, to be honest with you, I really wouldn't hurt to take a couple of kids over to her house and thank her. She lives
great
right
idea.
over on Rust Avenue. I can tell you where she lives. And she might be listening, Dolores. If you are, I hope you're not mad at me, because you might end up with having a bunch of kids out there saying Curly. But I tell you, she deserves it. So anyway, what else? Let's see. It's a good location. They drop them right off there. They have fish fries every Friday night. There's always great fundraisers, but they don't gouge you, do they?
No.
They still have the drive-through, right, for the fish fries. So
Yeah.
if you don't want to come in and eat.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. I think a couple of weeks ago they ran out of fish. This last week they didn't run out, but they still fed near 300.
Wow.
And yeah, you can go indoor and eat up till I think 7, or drive through up till 7. But Ben Brandt's crew, they just do a great job. And like Ben said, I told him, this is the best fish ever. And he said, ought to be. We've been doing it for 7 years.
Yeah.
You know, every year he improves, but it is very
A couple of years
good
by the
fish.
gas station because because of COVID.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, they did it over there for 3 or 4 years, and actually they record numbers back then. But it was kind of inconvenient, and a lot of people like myself, we like to sit down and eat, you know.
Yep.
And I know I do. I don't like to eat and run, but that place you can sit there and converse with people, and we need to do more than that, more of that. Sit down and talk to people instead of this social media stuff and telephones, and that's terrible. But anyway, how old do you think you're going to be when you get a phone? You don't have a phone now.
No.
No. And do you hope to have a phone someday?
Yes.
Why? Why do you want a phone? Watch cartoons?
Yes.
Watch cartoons. That's a good answer. Yeah. Yeah. And that's about it. Because you're not going to call anybody.
No.
No. And you're not going to message anybody.
No.
And you promise you're going to stay off of social media.
Yes.
That's a bad thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does your mama get on the phone a lot?
Yeah.
She does. Does your daddy use the phone a lot?
No, just to text and call.
Do they call each other?
Yeah, when Dad needs to pick it when Mom needs to pick Dad up.
Oh, okay. That's a good time to call him, isn't it? Where's your mommy pick him up at?
If he doesn't have his car at work, Mom comes and picks him up at work.
Your mommy loves your daddy, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Huh? And your daddy loves your mommy. Isn't that a great gift?
Yeah.
Huh?
And Mom Mom calls Dad if Dad forgot something at the store.
Oh, wow. That's good. Yeah. That's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you like about the, like at school? What's your favorite time at school?
Playtime outside.
That's your favorite?
Yeah.
That's a favorite to my little grandkids too. Why is that? What goes on out there?
We play on the hippo and the rainbow castle and the blue castle and on the monkey bars.
Okay, all right. And then inside the classroom, what goes on in the classroom?
We do math, play after snack time, and do rest.
Addie, you should tell them about the book we're reading for March's Reading Month. Tell them what we're reading. Do you girls remember? What is it?
It's the Lion in the Woods. And the Witch.
And the wardrobe.
What grade are you in?
Kindergarten.
And you're reading?
Well, Mrs.
Yeah.
Sell's reading that aloud.
Yeah.
I was going to say, brilliant, sir. Bob, how old were you, Bob, when you started reading?
I think I was about 8th grade.
I know. Alphabets in first grade. And I mean the cereal type.
Yeah.
And then Boy, you kids are a lot smarter than we were, aren't they, Bob?
They are, they surprise you, and it's a refreshing surprise to know how much they know, and they're wiser than you think. That's something that you learn early on.
I think they have teachers that really are doing a great job over there, aren't they? Huh? Who's your principal right now, Jim?
Mr. Sandoval.
Whoa, you are good.
Know that,
yeah. And then who's the secretary over there?
Nyan. Mrs. Nyan.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Are you guys looking forward to getting back to school here in a few minutes?
Yes.
You
Yes.
are?
Oh, boy.
Why
See,
is
that's
that?
good.
Playtime?
Yes.
You going to go outside in the rain today?
No.
No?
No, we're gonna have inside recess.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Good.
That's what we ever do when it rains.
Oh, you do? Now, what are you going to have for lunch today? Do you have lunch there at the community center there?
Mac and cheese. In the gym we have lunch.
Yeah. What do you think you're going to have for lunch today?
I think I'm gonna have a ham and seasoned mayo salad.
Okay,
Because
good.
my mom always packed me those.
There you go. How about you? What do you?
Mac and cheese.
Is that your favorite?
Yeah.
How about hot dogs?
No.
No.
Mostly not
wow.
with the bun.
No. Not
Yeah,
with the-
it's not my favorite with the bun.
You guys like donuts?
Donuts! Donuts!
Who makes the best donuts?
Mom.
Mom? Oh, your mom makes donuts?
I've never
Wow.
made a single donut.
You buy donuts for a good.
Oh,
Love
right.
donuts.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, my mom loves bunny donuts.
All right, one more question. Who makes the best pizza in town?
Domino's.
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 You like Domino's, eh?
Yeah, both of us.
Have you ever tried Mr. C's in Paris?
No.
Oh, Mommy's got to go up there and try them. They're really good, too.
No way that I'm trying that.
No?
Nope,
You don't
I'm
even
not
know
doing
that.
Oh,
fun
boy.
one bit.
Right, we're going to get in
That's
trouble.
going to wrap up Kids
Yep.
Say the Darndest Things. There are fake letters.
Well, thank you very much. What else do you want to say, girls?
Um,
Anything at all about St. Mary's School and Church?
Come and see St. Mary's. Come and see St. Mary's for you can play with us and pray to Jesus.
Very
There you go.
good. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, listen,
Now,
I bet you're going to...
let's go over that one more time before we wrap it up there.
Miss...
So we just want to be sure you all know that you're invited to come to our open house next week on March 13th. It's Wednesday from 5 to 7. You can tour the school, meet all of the teachers, explore the classrooms. We offer preschool that's full-time or part-time for 3 and 4-year-olds. If your child is 3, they just need to be fully potty trained. Kindergarten, we have a great offer of 50% off kindergarten tuition, so come on over. And 1st through 8th grade, there are scholarships and tuition discounts available. So just come on in, talk to us. We'd love to hear from you.
Well, now, I got a question. So you don't take them if they're still on the bottle? You won't do
No,
that?
3-year-olds is where we start.
You don't
And
bottle
potty
them
trained.
first?
That would
Yeah,
leave me
fully
out.
potty trained.
Well, some kids are on it until 4 or 5. I know
Oh,
I went
right.
to bed until I was 8. All right. Well, thanks a lot for coming in.
Thank
We
you so much,
appreciate
Mr.
it.
Currie.
Good luck there. I love that school, as you guys all know. That just none better. That's for sure. Thank you. But anyway, Jim Doyle turned 60 years old.
Nice.
Say hello to him.
Yeah.
Emily Van
He had a big
Coolen.
party for him, I saw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at St. Mary's Parish Center again.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Then Emily Van Coolen turned 40. Sots Bar had a big party for her Saturday night. Her husband kept it a big secret, and boy, was she surprised. Big crowd there. Shane Prince, that's Jose that works for me. Her real name is Josie. I like to call her Jose. Shane Prince turned 51 yesterday. Abby Hepler and Keegan, twins, nicest little twins that worked at Zots Bar, still help out quite a bit. They turned 25. And then Kurt Dahm, my little buddy there, turned 22. So I put his dad's name up there instead of his. It shows my age. But I corrected it and put Kurt up there, but we wish him a very happy birthday. Yesterday morning, a saint went to heaven. I tell you, very few times when someone leaves in your life, hopefully they're older and you say they had a great life and you're appreciative of them and for what they did for you in your life or whatever. And you sit there and you go to the funeral and you have great celebration of life for him. This guy I'm going to talk about is my cousin Johnny Brown. He went to St. Agnes School up there in the UP. He was one of the big Brown families up there. He played football at St. Agnes, and his brother Kenny and Dennis and a bunch of them played football. The Browns were big and strong boys, and they were very fast. And Johnny was a hell of a tailback, and he was looked at by colleges to play for them as his brother Kenny was recruited by Nebraska, I believe, but he insisted on going in the Marines. Kenny got injured and came back with a Purple Heart. And Johnny went over and got his leg and hip blew off. Back then, and like today, so many times we don't take care of our vets. Johnny wasn't very well taken care of. And I watched him go through a lot of pain in his life because we're a very close family. The Browns and Curries, even though we're 200 miles apart, we would visit quite often. I remember going to the games up there and watching Johnny play. My dad was so proud to call him his nephew. And very fast. I think he might have had the records on touchdowns up there. But anyway, ruined his whole life, Vietnam did, as so many other vets. And came back to the community of St. Agnes, and they took him in, and he got married, had 3 children. I'll move along fast for you, but he lost 2 sons before he passed away yesterday and was divorced due to the fact that he fought for our freedom and our liberty that we have today that we enjoy. That we should enjoy more than we, sickening what's going on. But anyway, what was it for, you know? I mean, Johnny, he thought he was doing something great for our America. And gosh, you know, I mean, he went through so many pains. They put him on drugs and alcohol and but he kept struggling, you know. He quit and he straightened his life out and just was in pain all the time. He'd come down here and you would never know he was in pain. Always had that great Johnny Brown smile and just loved people and loved life, even though he was in pain all the time. He'd help my brother John out to the farm. He was real close to the Depews and the Kylings and never missed anything. He just was so thoughtful. Boy, the pain he endured for us. I want you to stop and think about what he did for us as so many other vets have done for us. Sacrificed their whole life, even though some passed away at a young age over in Nam. The ones that came back, they just didn't have the life that you and I have, but they fought for what we have. And I'm so appreciative of my cousin Johnny, and I just hope that God treats him better than we did. God bless you, Johnny, and we're going to miss you. All right. So, Rock Carmen being over here today with me, and another guest supposed to be here, didn't show up, but I'm kind of feeling depressed right now, what's going on in my life with Johnny, and I'll get out of it here in about 30 seconds, Bob, if you play a good song. Play that Willie Nelson song for me today. No, I just was telling them that I'm going to be gone for the rest of the month here in March.
Well, Jen may be lining something. I'll have to see what happens.
We'll get somebody better on here.
We'll have to find a guest host.
You'll have a guest host.
So if you guys want to fill in for Pat while he's gone, give us a call here at 796-1103.
There you go. We'll find somebody. Maybe Carmen here will do. I got Carmen being with me. You know, talking about birthdays, we got somebody up in the heavens right now looking down, smiling, her beautiful, beautiful smile, beautiful, beautiful blonde hair. She was a wonderful tribute to Big Rapids. I wish she was alive today. I think she'd shut some people's mouths up on what they're saying about one another. That's Carol Ann Wells. She's been gone a few years now, and Kim's still with us. He's back from Florida. He went down there with a buddy of his to fish for a few days. But I can't say enough about Carol Ann. Penny and I just thought the world of her, and we miss her. She'd be 59 years old today. God took her way too young. But he must have needed a new Cinderella up there, huh? One of them must have retired or something. They said, well, we need a new princess up here, so we'll bring Carol Ann up here. But don't think we'll ever forget her. She, again, is a legend to all of us. God bless her. Anyway, well, I got Carmen with me. Well, I was going to say something else. Do I want to, oh, geez. Carmen, you're with me. Let's see. My brain went blank because I thought of you. Why is that? You're doing such a great job out the township. Give us some news. What's going on out there? Did you get a new sewer and water across the highway yet?
Not yet. I think that's a pretty big project, and I think it's one that's worthy.
I think so,
I think
too.
we need to do some expansion on the west side of the expressway. Who knows what wants to come in there, but, we've had some inquiries in the last few months, but the infrastructure's just not there yet.
Right.
So I think that's something we need to work on with the county and perhaps the city.
Well, the county is going to get some more of this drug money coming up, right?
Yeah, I think they're looking at a significant amount of money.
Yep. So, put it back into Big Rapids here. It would be nice. I know people over in Remus and Mecosta would like some of it too, probably, in Barrington. But Big Rapids is the hub of Mecosta County where most of the money's generated. Not the other ones don't generate, but they do. But anyway, the population's here. And to make us grow Mecosta County, we need to build across that highway. And what better way to talk to your commissioners and ask them if they couldn't see fit to throw a little money into that, save up or whatever, so we can get enough to put water and sewer across Perry Street. I know a few years back, Don Wolochowski at Quality, I believe, now it's rumor, that Cracker Barrel was looking at that. But once they found out there was no water and sewer, then they backed out because they can't do it without that. But anyway, there's a lot of things going on in Big Rapids, I know, and a lot of things in the township. Maybe you want to talk about that. But one thing going on in the city I don't want to overlook, and that is what Fred Gunther did, the mayor, for us yesterday. He got together a group of people from the east side and to voice their concerns on what's going on, good and bad. This is a beautiful town, and I think people like Fred, being the mayor that he is, he's really concerned what your thought is on Big Rapids, and so he brought a forum of, it was a packed house at City Hall, people, and they brought their concerns, and the city, I think, is going to act on all of them. But it takes time. I think we have a great public safety director, Danny Hayes there. I just think the world of her, and she's doing the best she can. But again, police can only do so much and get there so fast because it's a big city.
Yes, it is.
And for what we have here. So my hat's off. Brian Miller was there. He had a lot of input. I think the world of Brian, as everybody in the county knows, and thereabout. But township-wise, what's going on?
Well, we're doing some work currently on rewriting ordinances regarding zoning and planning. They're a bit outdated. There are a number of uses that came up recently, rather, that weren't included initially when it was written. I believe its last update was in 2016. So, we're 8 years by that now, and it's time to do some work on it. We also have a committee taking a look at the policies and procedures related to who can do what authorities are provided, the various offices. And we're going to make it so that the board is more a part of the decisions, that we don't have someone who is trying to run the show from the top, if you will. And, I think that's going to change the complexion of the leadership, being the board and all the various departments out there. Additionally, we're working on analyzing the fire services and seeing what we can do to improve those fire services. Obviously, there are limited funds with the millage. Typically, you'll find organizations such as fire departments that want to, they want more stuff, if you will. And my position is that we have limited funds, and we need to have the best department we can have with those funds. I don't think that increase in taxation is ever a good way to go. On the infrastructure across the highway, with this marijuana money, it would be nice to see the county contribute to that. I think they should also take a look at taking a more active role in the roads, the repair of the roads, the maintenance of the roads, and take a look at what we can do with law enforcement. We're struggling currently in the county, in the area, in the township, with the fact that we don't really have a prosecutor at this point in the county. And we really need to fill that position, and we need to find someone who's capable, experienced, and we'll go after the issues that we're all experiencing, some which you referred to a few minutes ago with the meeting at the city yesterday. I mean, that's a tough issue, and that's a nationwide issue, not just a local issue. And we need to work on it. We need to fix that.
Well, the laws that they've enacted in recent years down in Lansing are ludicrous. I mean, the cops arrest a guy and he gets thrown back out on the street because it's a misdemeanor and it used to be a felon. I just don't understand what's going on. That's why I told the people yesterday, I said, it starts in Lansing. It's not in Mecosta County. Our prosecutor, John Peterson, I know him personally, and he's a young man, and he's on his own. And he's trying his best, but he can only do so much. We need help in that department, that's for sure. But these laws that they're passing down in Lansing, man, they're getting weaker and weaker. And like our sheriff here, I mean, he goes out and tries to protect us on these things and on unlawful things, and they just get thrown out of court for whatever reason. They're changing it so that we are ended up being the bad guys for throwing the bad guys in there.
Yeah, Sheriff Miller does a wonderful job in recapping and informing the local townships of what's going on in their townships. He provides us with monthly statistics, by township on the various offenses that have occurred. And you could see a trend, and it's not a good trend. But, Sheriff Miller is doing a wonderful job.
Yeah, I think Tom Kuntz down in Lansing is doing a great job. See, that's why I said, we got to vote the right people in. Well, we have the right person representing us right now, Tom Kuntz from Clare. And then we have a very good senator, too, Roger Hawk from Beale City area. So we're doing good, but we got to get these friends of ours up north there to vote a little bit better, and down south. I mean, it's happening in Lansing and happening in the Senate and Congress.
Our state is
and the president.
Our state's utilizing a lot of taxpayer funds on things that are not what government is supposed to do. Their primary role is public safety.
Right.
And it's not happening. They're spending it elsewhere. They're spending it on incentive packages, the feel-good stuff. And, we can't be all things to all people. We have to choose what our mission is, and we have to stay focused on that mission and go after the improvements that are required, whether it be law enforcement, infrastructure, all those things, public services. We need to take a look at those, and I don't think we're doing a good job of it.
Thank you. All right, well, my other guest here just walked in. He's always busy. Thank God you're young. If you're my age, you'd be having a stroke for the hours you put in up there in Green Township, Jason. You are who you are, and thank God you are, because we appreciate everything you're doing. I know you're having a rough time with some people, but the majority love you and love what you're doing. Just talk about Green Township. Let's go.
No, there's a lot of the board had to stay pretty quiet since we've taken office, and there's been a lot of questions regarding us being as quiet as we've been. The reason for that is because one, we had to identify what we were working with and understand what we were working with, And so for us to come out and start to talk every meeting or every special meeting on exactly what we were doing or what we were finding, we could have contradicted ourselves 9-10 times over, made us really look bad. So one of the reasons for the board's silence was we just had to study out the situation. And I think now we have a pretty good understanding of exactly what's going on with the township, how we would like to operate that township, how to structure our meetings, and just how we proceed in the future. So, and there's, to add to that, there's a ton of different things, a lot of moving parts there. My predecessor was on his way out, and he mentioned that, and he wasn't lying at all about that. There's a lot of moving parts dealing with the Goshen issue, dealing with just capital improvement projects. Then these things need to be traced down and understood before we could really start talking, and that all plays a part of the budget. And so we had to approve a budget, and we had to understand those projects in order to incorporate it into the budget so we could do it successfully and do it well for the people of Green Charter. But that's kind of where we're at so far, I guess. If I was to drill down on the secrecy a little bit, because I think it's time to talk and kind of, just shed some light on some of the stuff. I guess the first thing I would pick off would be the audit. I've had a lot of questions regarding the audit because we did mention that we wanted to do a full audit when we took office, and we ended up going through discovery and finding that yes, the audit was already done, and it was a successful audit of Green Charter Township just before we had gotten in office. So we still had to do an audit. But it was not a full forensic audit. It wasn't needed because the audit was already performed. So this audit that we performed on the books was just a step down of a full forensic audit. It was mainly like a random sampling type of an audit. And the reason for that is we were transferring from old software to new software. So when we ended up doing that, there were discrepancies in some of our line items regarding our budget. And those had to be looked at and rectified to make sure it was accurate enough for the next upcoming audit, and to make sure that our accountants could work well with the budget. And so that's as far as the audit went on the books. Now there's two steps to the audit. The second part of the audit, that would be the first, the one I just described. The second part is the audit regarding our hardware, and just what that audit is going to consist of now that we've changed over hardware in the township is just going to be the fact that we want to make sure we migrate all of our sensitive files appropriately. We have the right people in place to do that, and we don't lose anything. So that would be the second part of the audit. And a lot of questions came to us regarding the audit. What would you find? What did you find in the audit? Is there anything sinister, if you will, regarding the old board and how they practiced in the township in their capacity? And really, there wasn't. We didn't find anything sinister. Nobody was. And the clerk in the treasurer's office was buying furniture for their house. They weren't doing anything like that. They weren't misappropriating funds. They were just doing their job. And those two ladies that were in there before the election, great ladies. They did their job very well, and there was we're very happy that we were able to have them in that capacity that long. There was to clear the air on a couple other issues, and I know I'm just jumping right into this, Pat.
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
But
you're surely ending that silence you've had in the last few months.
Well, we're really tired of being quiet, and as we all know, I like to talk, especially during the campaign. I sure do like to, express my views on things, but. I might as well apply it now because they said, I can kind of get into it. But, I really feel bad about when we took office. there was a point in time, the day after the election, the old board were at the township hall, and they were moving their things out of the office. And it's a happy time, and it's a sad time. It's a happy time for the people moving in, and it's a sad time for the people moving out. You know, they put a lot of time into that township, and a lot of different good things have happened in that township because of those people that were there. And I just wanted to stay away from, let them have their time with the township and that sort of thing. But it came to my attention that these things were happening at the township hall. I wasn't sworn in yet. So to make sure that, there wasn't any to portray or make sure that there was another oversight saying that nothing sinister was going on if the township officials were taking their stuff out of the hall, I ended up calling 911 and getting a state trooper to the hall. And this was a misunderstanding entirely, and there was a lot of hubbub on social media regarding this action and that sort of thing. What I ended up doing is I met the trooper out at the hall, and I said, look, at the old board, I talked to the trooper, and I said, look, at the old board's moving their stuff out. There's a lot of people out there wondering what they're doing in the hall, and I don't believe there's anything happening in the hall other than they're moving their stuff out. So if you could, just to help clear the air, please go in there and check it out and say hi, and then we'll be all set, And I figured that would help everybody. It needs to But like some of those things that you do get turned around and miscommunicated, it turned out to be that the police were called on the old board and that sort of thing. It wasn't so. It just wasn't the case. It was the officer was called with the best intentions to make sure everything was clear and above board, and it kind of got messed up along the way on social media. So for anybody that was on social media and has had this rolling around in their head and this thought, because it's come up several times, that's exactly what had happened. I had called the officer just to verify that there was nothing sinister, which I already knew wasn't happening. Nothing sinister was happening. So that's just to clear the air. But I'm kind of disappointed that it was interpreted the way it was. You try to do something nice and it kind of gets miscommunicated. So we took office, and we can talk about a little bit, if you don't mind, about our internet situation. We took office, and the first thing that we did is the computers were locked up, as they should be, and thank God they were, because what that does is it protects our records, and that's how I looked at it. Okay, they protect our records, and these passwords on the computers are the old board's passwords, and I don't want their passwords. I don't want to access that, because if just for legal reasons, that sort of thing, the township was using ISI for their internet service, and not only their internet service but their IT service. And what we found out is ISI, being their IT service, was the administrator for all their accounts, for all the accounts, which is okay. So we have an administrator for the accounts. There was no administrative password that we could access to open up those accounts. We had to work through ISI. Okay, that's not a problem with me. I just call the administrator. They'll get us into the accounts, and we'll continue to work. Okay, we weren't ready for that right away. What we ended up doing is, when we first took office, we went through the files in the office to get familiarized with our surroundings. As we went through the office, about second day, I believe. Pardon me again. We ended up calling ISI to get us into our accounts, and what we found is we were having problems accessing those accounts for reasons I can't explain. I don't understand why that would be a problem. Now, when I'm looking at this thing, I thought, well, okay, we can't access our accounts, so maybe there was a change in a password or something like that. Maybe if the account was shut off, it'd be a problem. But in my experience in industry and in working with Ferris, it's never ever been a problem to have an administrator just get you into the account and then set you up a new account for yourself, and then you work. But we continued to work with ISI, and and as we were working with them, they did their best to help out. And we had a conversation at one time because we were looking at this migration of software that I mentioned earlier. And I said, I talked to a representative from ISI. I said, if we were to migrate over to online software, would you be able or willing to help us with that? They had indicated that no, they weren't going to do that because it didn't follow suit with their security. They just didn't work with their security. So I said, so you're not interested in continuing with Green Charter Township? And they said, nope, we're not. If you go online, we can't guarantee security. And I said, well, okay. So that's note taken. We carry on. So as this continues on, and we still can't gain access, it starts raising questions. Well, one question comes to mind, Carmen, it's like, well, okay, so if there was a board in a township that was operating perfectly, let's say, I don't know, like 12, let's give them the benefit, 18 hours before the election and after the election, 18 hours after the election, nothing works. We can't make things work. I can understand there may be a lead time in order to turn different programs on, that sort of thing. But when we were at the first meeting, which came 2 weeks after, we started to get nervous because we couldn't access our utility billing. We couldn't access our accounts so we could take a look at our budget appropriately. Then we started to get nervous. We went, and this ended up going on in one capacity or another for about almost 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And so one of the programs we were working with is a program called Quicken. And so when I was there for 2 nights in a row, I don't know, probably about like 12 o'clock at night, because Quicken's based out of Colorado, so there's a lead time on, there's a difference in time and time between Michigan and Colorado, as we all know. I could work late there and talk to these people. And so what ended up happening was there was a point where we had to do an update. We just couldn't open the Quicken account because we needed an update. So I called up ISI, and they asked if I was ready to start doing updates on the software. And I thought to myself, I didn't think that we had to ask permission or give permission to do updates on our software on a regular basis. Because if I look back at the books from prior board, that they just did the updates and they billed accordingly for the updates. And what they would have to do is take down the security to update all the software, and then they could go. So we had no idea. The old board had no idea about any of this. So meanwhile, we were locked out, and we were calling and asking for help with our IT people, and this wasn't happening. The updates weren't happening. We were not told by our IT people that the updates weren't happening. So it was a vicious cycle and circle. So at that point in time, you have to reevaluate your involvement with certain entities at that point. And we have to start looking a little bit closer at things, because I'll tell you what, I was willing just to leave everything alone and continue working, no problem. You have a good working relationship, and it just went south from there. It just didn't work very well. So what the board decided, I brought it in front of the board. It's like, hey, we have to, because we can't open up some of these software programs yet. Talking with BSNA, which is a software supplier company, they said in order to migrate, we're going to have to go online in order to save our data. And so at that point in time, the decision was made by the board to migrate on online services, and therefore ended up ultimately terminating the involvement with ISI and Green Charter Township, and also with their internet supply. Now, there's a lot more to it. There's a lot of other stuff that we can dig down, but that's basically what has happened with ISI now, with Green Charter Township. Okay, at this point, then there's a lot of people that come up to us and they ask us. They say, "Well, what about the internet?" Because ISI is an internet supplier in Green Charter Township, and in other areas. So we don't want to do, the Green Charter Township Board does not want to do harm to any one township member, right? Anybody that lives, any constituent. We just don't want to do that. And I don't believe the other board wanted to do that either on a lot of issues. So how do we navigate this thing and with this agreement? Because at this point in time, ISI now is operating out of the basement, and has been for a while, out of the basement of Green Charter Township. And so there's two different agreements with ISI that I really would like to touch on quick. One is what we call a tower maintenance agreement, all right, and the second one is a lease agreement. And the lease agreement has to do with their space leased in the basement of Green Charter Township's hall. And the other one is the maintenance agreement with the towers. And so that would give them they operate on our towers, our Green Township towers that are owned. We own about 4 of them in different areas of the township. And they are to manage those towers in many different capacities and operate those towers for Green Charter. And so what we said is, where we've come to at this point in time is, okay, so the board moved to terminate the lease agreement in the township because the board feels that we shouldn't be setting precedent for a situation with a private entity working out of the township hall. What that would do for the Green Township Board is there be a precedent set there where Joe's snow plowing or in lawn care, or I don't know, maybe an accountant would like an office space in our township hall also. See, that's the problem we run into. It's a precedent. So what we want to do is we need to separate that agreement. So the board moved to terminate the lease agreement. That happened, I think, last meeting. Not the special meeting, but the regular meeting. So what ends up happening now is we are going into talks with ISI on how to move ISI's operation out of the basement of the Green Charter Township Hall. However, we are not going to terminate or in any way look at the tower maintenance agreement for the towers located in Green Charter Township that ISI works off of. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep that in place, but we're going to work on migrating ISI out of the hall in a timely fashion, so that in an accurate fashion, so that there isn't an interruption in internet service for our township residents. Now, mind you, we're doing all this, and this takes a lot of work to figure all this out, but we're doing this and working with ISI in this capacity, even though, as a municipality, we are not required. Once again, a municipality is not required to supply these types of services to the people in their township. But we feel that it's important, because our people feel it's important, that they would like to continue on services with ISI, that we make sure we migrate this service out in a different capacity, and we have so they can work in a different capacity in our township without having to operate out of our township hall. So to recap on the ISI internet thing, Green Charter Township is completely independent of ISI and their internet and their IT services at this point. We have now installed new hardware. Okay, we have a new IT director. and a new IT break-fix-it guy. They do fabulous work for us. All right. It's not without a cost. There's a cost involved to make that migration, but it will pay off. It will pay off by next budget. So it's just one of those things we have to do. Now, the second thing that happens here is because Green Township is separate, we are now bringing your attention to the second part is the internet service that ISI supplies to the people of Green Charter Township. 1, tower maintenance agreement. Tower maintenance agreement is going to stay in place. They will continue to have their gear on top of the tower. However, their rental agreement down in the basement is terminated by the board, and we are going to work to migrate ISI out of the Green Township Hall space. And that's kind of what's happening there for right now. Wow. There's a lot more to talk about.
There is, I know. Well, you should come on the rest of the whole month and talk about the Hey, for you folks out there didn't know who Dom DeLuise is, this is Jason Cruz, the supervisor of Green Township. What a remarkable man you are. I tell you what, Ferris lost a good man when they asked you to go on a sabbatical to England.
Sorry to bring it down so far. Thanks for bringing us back.
That's great. No, that's great. You know what? A lot of things are going on in Mecosta County right now, and social media hasn't been very kind to you. And, well, they really haven't bashed you too bad.
No, they haven't been too bad.
No, not too bad. No. But they have other folks, you know, and it just shows you how immature some people are and insecure they are when they talk that way about others. My Lord, I stay off it for one reason, because you're not going to win.
No.
You know, you and I can have an argument, Jason, and we're here in the studio right now, and be done with it. You know, the other thing that bothers me is, in a small town, is that endorsements. You know, if a guy runs for office, it doesn't actually mean that you don't want the opposed guy, that you don't like the guy. Yeah. You vote for the best person. And right now in our country, more than ever, we need people to sit back and really look who is running for Senate. You know, you're getting all these brochures, how great thou art, but then if you look in his past, he's been in the politics his whole life. What have you done in 40 years that you want to be my senator or congressman? I mean, you look down in southeast Michigan, I won't say her last name, but Debbie, I've met Debbie, and she's a nice gal. She really is a nice gal. But what we really need in Michigan is the opposite of what she's implemented for Michigan. Because we're in bad shape in Michigan. We all know that. Yeah, we need jobs, but you know what? We need people to work in those jobs. And when I say that, they say, well, unemployment is terrible. We're one of the poorest people in Michigan. Well, there's a reason for that. These people aren't looking for jobs. I had a couple in yesterday that, Pete Kent was there, and Pete can tell you, the guy hurt his back after he worked 3 or 4 weeks, and now he's 59 years old, and quite frankly, he just can't work anymore. But, you know, he's living pretty good, but he doesn't really want a job. And then I said something one time a long time ago about the unemployed getting out and cleaning our streets. You know, Maple Street's a corridor of Michigan State Department, so it's not really a city project there, right? So they don't really monitor that area, so the state does that. Well, it's dirty. Well, give them a shovel and a broom, start sweeping the place up. See if these people that want to live off us, the taxpayers, really want to help us out. Give them some pride. But I'm telling you, you can build all the factories you want. And if you want a job right now, Federal Screws hiring, right, Carmen?
Yep.
Big Rapids Products is always looking for quality people. I'm looking for people, but the people that are out there right now, they don't want to work. And that's our government at its best. They want those people to be that way, I guess, because they're giving them all kinds of money to subsidize their lives and giving them a house to live in. Going on to the homeless shelter, I'm not against the homeless shelter. I think that the homeless people, the true homeless people, I'm willing to help. You have great people like Dolores Horn and Ron McKean and his wife Karen. They're very sensitive to those people. But on the other hand, you have those other people that take advantage of saying I'm homeless. we got to correct that problem right now, and that's what the city's working on right now. But I got to commend both you guys. I've sat back and watched this town. I think Carmen's a big asset, and if you want to say what you're going to be doing next, Carmen, go ahead. But Jason, you're doing a great job up there, and I commend your wife for putting up with you, because I know the hours you're putting in right now. I've gotten phone calls from you at 10 o'clock at night, and you're still there working, or you're doing something. I mean, it's been overwhelming, I'm sure.
Well, you just take it one little piece at a time. That's how you eat an elephant. Right?
It is, yes.
So, yeah, but thanks. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
If I could, Pat, I'd like to. You made a couple of comments that I would like to address just briefly. I'm not quite as eloquent in speaking as Mr. Cruz is.
Hell of a lot better than I am.
and I'm a little more succinct, if you will. But, as it relates to Mecosta County being one of the poorest counties, what people don't understand is that when you take a look at the state, the cost of living in Mecosta County is only 88% of what the rest of the state is. So there are some benefits to Mecosta County, too, as it relates to the cost of living. If you were to look at America as being 100, the entire country, the state is at 93% of America, and we're at 88% of the 93%. So, yeah, we're, while it's trying at times, there's enough revenue generated here. People live a good life. Most people live a really good life, a very comfortable life in this county. It's not like we're down and out. We're not full of blight. Those types of things. And as it relates to the social media issue, any decision anyone makes who holds public office or owns a business, it's going to upset half of the population. That the country's that divided right now. And it's unfortunate that we have become a nation who cannot understand that there may be a different point of view. We all have a different worldview. But it doesn't have to get personal. It's about the issue. It's not about the person. And we've lost sight of that as a nation. And it really has came to light on social media here locally. And in my opinion, we are seeing the worst of humanity. The worst humanity has to offer is what we see on the on social media.
Yeah.
As it relates to my future plans, last week I filed with the Mecosta County Clerk's Office to run for District 7 Commissioner for Mecosta County. I wanted to let that be known publicly. It's no secret. I think we need change. I think that we are not fiscally responsible. I think that we are using the taxpayers' money as a piggy bank, and we aren't providing the services that we should be providing. And I think that we're providing assistance to various entities, and I think that money could be better spent on public safety and infrastructure. And I just think we need to be more responsible, and I think we need to listen to folks.
Well, you have a big background, a great background of management and management skills. Very few people are lucky enough to have what you have. How many years were you in the private sector with Federal Screw there?
I worked with Federal Screw Works in the automotive industry for 45 years, and I'm currently in my 48th year in the industry. I do quality systems audits currently, and I do that on a contract basis, and I take an audit when I want and where I want. I'm not going to let it run my life. It's more or less a hobby that I get paid for.
What did you do for them? What was your
main goodness job there? I started with Federal Screw when I was 19 years old, and I ran a cold former. Basically, it's a lot of stamping presses and things, they run vertical, and cold formers run horizontal. We made a lot of automotive components, steering system components, brake caliper pins, internal engine components. We did those things. I served an apprenticeship as a tool and die maker. Probably after about a decade with them, I supervised the skilled trades, and then opportunities. I was given a lot of opportunity at Federal Screw Works. I became the plant superintendent, then plant manager. I worked as an engineering manager, and ultimately I spent about the last 12 years of my career as general manager. So, it was a good career. It was a broad base, and Federal Screw Works provided me with a lot of opportunity, and therefore so did the community. They allowed me to live a life which was, more pleasing, let's say. Obviously nobody gets rich working in manufacturing, but it's a good gig, and I'm very familiar with the automotive industry. I've dealt directly with the big three over the years, and a lot of their tier suppliers.
How about, why did they move up here back in the late 60s, 70s, I guess?
Well,
what brought them up here to Big Rapids?
At that point in time, the big three were going through they wanted to expand their supply base, if you will. They were on a big kick to have more suppliers so they could compete against each other, and therefore the big three would get better pricing. So what happened is a lot of companies opened up divisions and gave them a different name so that they would appear as a different supplier, if you will. And I think that the infrastructure of Federal Screw Works buildings was getting old. I mean, the company celebrated its 100th year in 2017, and there aren't too many companies that can say that they've been around for 100 years. So that building down in Detroit on Martin Avenue was getting a little old, was getting a little tired. So they built a facility out in Romulus by the airport, and then they built this facility in Big Rapids.
And they had one in Chelsea.
Yeah, and they had one in
Was that
Chelsea.
all union down there?
Those were all union, yes.
So do you think one of the reasons they came up here is they're not union up here, right? But they pay very well.
Yeah, they pay very well.
Yeah.
I think the starting salary, well, when I left, I've been going almost 3 years now. The starting wage was $18 an hour.
Right.
And there were folks making as high as 30 or 35.
Right.
They were all salaried employees. They got paid overtime, but they guaranteed 40 hours.
Do you have a hard time? Are they having a hard time finding labor there?
When I left, they were. I'm hoping it's subsided now. I go in probably 50 or 60 manufacturing plants annually right now, various businesses, and they all struggle with the same thing. I take a look at how they manage risks, our clients, and typically what will happen is 8 out of 10 companies that I audit will tell me that their largest risk is the stable workforce. It's with recruitment and retention, and that's the biggest problem they're having.
What have we got to do to correct that? What do you think?
I don't think it's money. I think that we have I read. I don't sit around reading white papers, but I read a white paper on the American dream and how the various generations define it, and the generation that's up and coming defines it much differently than our generation did or the generation prior to us. We're all looking for the house with a white picket fence and a family. And the new generation, the study shows that they're looking to have enough to get by and do the things they love to do. It's not about a family. It's not about attaining a house and a nice car and a 2-stall garage. That's not what it's about anymore. So we have to find something. What it is at this point, I'm unsure, but we have to find something which will motivate this next generation to achieve what our ancestors achieved, what our generation has achieved. I mean, there's their worldview is different than ours. And that's hard for us to understand.
Yeah. I know. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, I just had to say WBZX Big Rapids.
Oh, my God.
We're in our third hour here. It's like,
wow, Bobby.
Keep going.
Yeah, well.
We're not going to wrap it up. We're going to go another 2 hours.
Oh,
There's
right.
too much. No, you know what? There's too much important information. Go as long as you want. Jason can come on in.
Jason and I are practicing to be your fill-in.
Yeah, there you go. You guys should come back and talk about commerce. But Bob, is there anybody, first-time caller, long-time listener out there trying to get in? I mean,
Nope.
they can always
They're all
get
just listening.
Any questions for Jason? I mean, he's
But
got
actually, the thing I'm thinking, you were talking about how the young people are looking for something new. I think our generations it's good enough for me. I think this generation is, no, I want better.
Yes.
So, and so that's the dichotomy here, we're up here and, yeah, this is good, I'm ready just to live out my life here, and others are like, nope, I want to push on and do better and do bigger and whatever and change the world. Of course, that's through a young person's eyes.
I know.
I think they've seen us as our generation, and they've seen us toil. They've seen us chasing a career, chasing an education, raising a family, simply trying to carve out a life, if you will. And I think that perhaps they look at that and they say, that's not how I want to live my life. As you said, they're looking for something different, something fresh, something more exciting. But I've had a pretty exciting life, I know that.
I think going on the stage of Trump land there, that's amazing what the Supreme Court did, eh?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And the other amazing thing is what France did. Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
What the hell's going on in the world? Everybody's attacking everybody right now, but you come to Big Rapids and you go to the Elks Club on a Saturday evening and watch all these wonderful people.
Yes.
And these are the dirt of America right there. These people are great people. They all were just there to help a brother, And if you take it, we got to do more of that. But the problem is, they're silenced.
Yes.
I bet you if I went around that room and asked how many people voted this last election, my vote doesn't count. Well, it's starting to wake up Americans a little bit. I think your count is going to be more because I think people with this Goshen thing and the immigration thing, people are waking up. Don't you, Jason, and are going to be to the voting booths this next time? I think it'll be the biggest ever. If it's not, we're done as a nation. I hate to say it, but we are. I mean, like yesterday, that meeting at City Hall that the mayor put on, that place was packed. It shows that people are waking up. They're not just sitting at home saying, "Oh, give me my chocolate bar," or go down to the gas station, buy a gallon of gas, and I'll mow my lawn because the lawn's green because the True Green came out and put fertilizer on it. That's my little ultimate dream. People are realizing now today that we have to stand up. Every vote counts, and we have to get that out more and more. And I think that's happening here. And I think it's social media actually is good on that part of it. It is getting people awareness. Yeah. But social media is terrible on the get. I'm going to bring her name up, Lori Brock, realtor here in town. She's a horseman, so I like that part about her. She's a taxpayer. She's a worker. Not everybody might not like her. I mean, not everybody likes me. I can't believe why they wouldn't, but they don't.
We love you.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah. Face to face we do, right?
Yeah,
but anyway, no. But anyway,
at least till I leave.
She was attacked.
I would say 100% of the people here love Pat Currie. So.
And here, yeah. But I'm telling you, I don't get on this gentleman's, I shouldn't call him a gentleman. I don't get on this person's website or social media site, right? He's not a friend, I guess you might say. It doesn't pop on my Facebook that I don't use very often. Lie. But anyway, only to put my pictures up. But he attacked her in a way that I thought, is the devil really working that hard over time?
Right.
You actually hate somebody that much that you would say those words? Mm-hmm. Come on. That is so sad that man has that much hate for any one person. As we sit here across, Bob, do you really have hate in your body that you would like to say to somebody, you go to hell?
Let me think.
No, you don't. Jason? No, I don't. Carmen, I know you don't either.
No, it's, all that anger, all that hatred, that's like feeding yourself poison and hoping someone else gets sick.
Sad.
You're the one that it hurts.
Yeah.
And you have to, you got to get rid of that stuff. I learned that. It took me 4 decades to learn it, but I learned it. Yeah. And I know the last 25 or 30 years of my life have been much happier than the first 40 as it relates to just that sense of well-being.
Yeah, it's just sad. So I hope somebody gets to the young man or old man, whoever he is, and stops it. Because this person came in station, did you see this web? And I said, no. And they showed it to me. I said, I wish you wouldn't have showed it to me. It's like the guy talks behind your back. If you never hear what he said, it's not going to bother you. It's only going to bother those that heard it. Right? Dolores Horn sent me this Lent is approaching food for thought. Well, Lent is here. We're in our second or third week.
Yes. It'll be, this is the third.
Yeah, it's a good Catholic man. I just want to read these words from Pope Francis.
Convert.
Yeah. Fast from hurting words and say kind words. Fast from sadness and be filled with gratitude. Did you hear that one?
Yes.
Fast from sadness and be filled with gratitude. Fast from anger and be filled with patience. Fast from pessimism and be filled with hope. Fast from worries and have trust in God. Fast from complaints and contemplate simplicity. Fast from pressures and be prayerful. Fast from bitterness and fill your hearts with joy. How simple. How simple. Fast from selfishness and be compassionate to others. Well, if we abide by this, it's a great nation. Unfortunately, we read this, but we don't practice it. And we got to start practicing what we're reading. I mean, you look at our community right now on Sunday morning, a lot of these churches are getting a little bit less and less people in there. We have to get them back. You know, you heard those two little kids in here this morning. Life is good for them right now. Why? Because they have security. They have good parents. They have mom and dad that are married, that love each other, that come together every night and give her a kiss goodnight, feed them. I mean, why can't we do that with everyone? It's so easy, but yet it's not happening.
No, we need to seek the good in life, not the evil. Far too many people seek the evil, and I wouldn't want to live that way. I actually feel bad for them. I feel sorry for them.
I do too. And to say I pray for them is a lie. I don't, because you know what? That's me. I'm sorry. But I like these people who say, well, I'm praying for you. Are you? Are you really praying for me?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But anyway, their words sound good. But anyway, let's go on. I want to say one more thing. I think we are going to see some commissioners' races open up that people are running like yourself. I think it is time that the young people like yourself come in to play and different ideas. I think a guy can be in office too long sometimes, don't you, Kevin? Jason?
Absolutely.
Kevin, who the hell's Kevin?
I'm looking at, that's one of the reasons. I think complacency set in. Who will be my opponent he's in his 22nd year. And I don't see things being done. All I see votes being made without discussion. I don't see any research. I don't see any risk analysis. I don't see a benefits analysis on things. I don't see an analysis of what the needs are. It's just like they're going through the motions. I don't think that in that position, that's who you should be.
Well, a few years ago, I got a little disgruntled, as a lot of other people did too, is with the equalization department. We won't go into it, but I went to the county commission on that, and it just fell flat on the floor. Nothing was done. And I got screwed over, and so did a lot of other people on taxes. I sold a house on a land contract. Registered deeds at that time told me to leave it in my name in case ever I had to go back and foreclose on the guy, which I had to two other prior people. So I left it in my name, but he was paying the taxes. He had a land contract, a written land contract, but the state didn't allow that. They said, no, you're the principal owner. You got to pay a non-homestead, so it cost me like $3,000. And it wasn't the money so much as the principal. Come on, guys, here's my contract. It just fell on deaf ears. So, that's the kind of stuff that just bothers me, that pick up and run, but nobody helped.
Yeah, they don't do that with bank financing.
No, that's for
Absolutely
sure.
not. Nope.
But anyway, I'm glad you're running, Carmen. I think you'll be good. You've been around the community a long time. You married a great lady in Sue Bean there, Sue O'Neill. Got a great family. That shows your kids are all married and have kids, so the tradition's going on as far as a family, and I wish you luck. I really do. And Jason, how about you? Any last words? It's 10 after 10. Poor Bob. He's sitting there going, I got to get out of here.
I don't know if he can handle another commentary.
Well, actually, I think part 2 of the show is starting right now. So
Yeah, there you go. We got to thank the sponsors, for sure. Big Rapids Pennzoil, right?
Right.
DW2, right? Gilbert.
Yep.
Baker. Automotive.
Benton Baker, yeah.
Yep. 911.
911, right? And Seth Winger, did you say him?
Seth Winter,
yep.
And Randy Vetter. Is he sponsoring yet, the commissioner? He's going up for re-election.
Okay.
Randy, he makes me laugh, so that's why I'm voting for him.
I think we have to start calling him Shrek.
Shrek?
Yep.
Oh, boy.
There you go.
Yep.
I told him he had a little tumor there, and the doctors got it, so I told him he's going to have to come back to church because Seth and I prayed for him. And they got all the cancer out of there of him, and he's just a good-hearted guy, even though he's not born and raised or bred here in Big Rapids, but we've incorporated his sense of humor very well.
Yes.
And he truly does want to do what the majority of people want to do, and he's taken a look at that and seen what his constituents want him to do, and he's doing that. So I commend him for that. That's enough sucking up to him. Next week I'll be cursing him out because he didn't do something I want. But no, great guy. All right. Well, let's play a song that I
Toby
picked
Keith,
out.
yeah.
Yep. Let's play that song, and then we're gonna let it go. Carmen, any last words?
Just thanks for giving me the opportunity to come on and share my thoughts. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, thank
Jason?
you. Same thing.
Well, you guys can have it next week. I'll be gone, Bob. So maybe you can have
Jen will
these two
have to
guys in
arrange
here.
that, yep. Then I'll be away, so okay.
Yep. Last words are God bless America.
We can't do it.